What's up, guys? It's Likwid, West Texas Vaping Coalition, and I'm going to do an RDA review. First one, woohoo! And it's going to be on the Brass Monkey. Let's take a vape. That's what's up. Okay, I want to talk about the Brass Monkey RDA that I purchased from a company on eBay called Standard Functions. This cost me $79.99, and what I got for my $79.99, let me take it off my Chi-Yu. I got the unit itself, and it's got variable airflow. We'll go over that in a minute. And then they also sent a brass cap that had some really small air holes in it. I like how small they were, so I ended up drilling them out to 1/8. So you got different caps. So pretty much, this is my first review on an RDA. Not really sure if I'm doing them right, but I'll just give it to you in layman's terms. I really like this one. I really like this RDA, and I'll show you why in this video. First thing I like is the top cap that comes on the stainless steel. It's milled freaking awesome. I mean, it's really got a really good build to it, and the reason why I like it is, if you can see, it's got 3 air holes there and 3 air holes there. And it's adjustable. What you can do is you can loosen up this top cap right here, and then you can just adjust it. This centerpiece, let me take this off. Take that off here, and then the center collar here is the way that you adjust it. So you take that off, and see it's got the slider ring there, and all you do is just cover the holes depending on what you want. So you can have it wide open, or you can start covering some of the holes, and you can adjust your airflow that way, which I really like. And the cool thing about it is, as soon as you get your airflow where you need it, you just put the top cap back on, and the threads on these are smooth, smooth, smooth. Tighten it down, and now it's not going to go anywhere, so you don't have to worry about bumping it or it spinning on you or anything. You can see the center chamber is really, really, really big, really beefy, and the overall milling on it is really cool. I mean, it's just really super smooth, really good material. It's not chintzy. The walls aren't really thin. They're nice, thick, monstrous walls on them. I like the pips on the top. I think that adds to it a little bit, and it just looks well. Same thing with the brass cap. It's really clean, and it has the little Brass Monkey logo on it. I don't know if you can catch that or not, but it's got the little Brass Monkey logo. Same thing, very, very thick. It's machined really well. There was no scuffs or anything on it until I drilled it out, and I broke the damn drill bit on it, and I scuffed it a little bit, which really sucks, but oh well, that's what I get for messing with things I shouldn't mess with, I guess. Alright, I'm going to swap the camera around, and I'm going to show you the innards of it and how I got it built, and we'll take some more vapes, talk about it, and we'll go from there. Alright, here is the Brass Monkey with the brass cap on, or the stainless steel cap on it. We'll take this off, show you the build deck. And I like the build deck because of one of the huge features in it, I believe, is the center post. If you see the center post here, it has 2 separate screws on it. There's a block on the center post, and there's 2 separate screws right here and right here. And the cool thing about these 2 center posts is you can capture your canthaw separately, so you don't have to worry about winding up a big wad of canthaw from both of your leads to capture for your center post. So they're all separate, and like you can see in here, I have a twisted 28 gauge in here, and that is kind of thick. So trying to wrap both of these leads onto one big screw, there's usually problems in a lot of the other builds that I have. But with this one, it's not that bad, because all I have to do is just put it through the hole, capture it each individually, and I think that gives you a better connection as well, because you're not just guessing or making sure that both of them are properly connected. Because when you usually have to wrap those 2 around one post, what can happen is, especially with twisted 28 gauge or any of your thicker gauges, is that you're just hoping that you're getting good connection on that side, on that lead. And sometimes what'll happen is heat or whatever, these will loosen up and one will pop out, so you're only firing one coil, or you'll have issues where you try to tighten it down and one lead might work its way out, or whatever the case may be. But that's kind of gone because of the way that this is set up. I like the way this is set up. It's really, really nice. Another thing that I like about it is Phillips screws. You don't have to worry about any Allen wrenches or anything. It's just built really well. They really took some thought into it. On the bottom, you have your 510 connection, and the 510 connection is silky, buttery smooth. The threads are really nice, and this thing has gone on and connected to pretty much every device that I have, and that's a huge plus. And if you can also notice too, the well down here is a nice deep well, so it gives you room to lay your cotton bed, especially when you build this this dual nano dragon coil build like I have in here. And I'll wick this and show you guys how to wick these too. We'll do this, it'll be a 2-in-1, so I'll be doing a review on the RDA, and then also we'll do the nano coil, or the dual dragon nano coil, and I'll show you how to wick it. Because this whole thing, the only reason why this build works is not because your coil is leaning to one side. That's not what makes a dragon coil. It's how it's wicked is what makes it a dragon coil, and it has to be wicked properly or else it doesn't really work very well. So that is the Brass Monkey innards, and I really like it. It's easy to work with. There's a lot of build room here. You have a ton of room. I like I said, this right here is a big plus for me, the way that the center block is set up. I hope the camera's catching that well. But the way that center block is set up is just freaking awesome. I'm really happy about that. I think more and more should be built that way. So that is your Brass Monkey. If you guys are interested, I think it's worth every bit of the $80 that I spent for it. Really super fast delivery as well. It works like a freaking champ. So what we're going to do here is I'll go ahead and cut the video now, and then we'll go into the Slash dual dragon nano coil twisted 28 gauge blah 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 review as well. Alright guys, what I used to do my twisted 28 gauge canthaw is I twisted 2 pieces of 28 gauge canthaw, pretty much self-explanatory, and then I took that piece and I wrapped it on this one right here. This bit is 2.31 millimeters. This one right here, the big one, this is 2.66 millimeters. This is 2.31 millimeters, 1.44 millimeters, and 0.762 millimeters. And where I got these from is from a company called Micro Puck. This is puck that they have, and it's a coil building puck. Thanks Myra for parting with it. I've been trying to get one. She ended up getting one before I got one, so she sold it to me, and I'm very, very happy she did. Cool thing is it's all self-contained, so these pins go in here, and you just take the pin that you wanted, close this up so you don't lose your pins, and then the pin that you want to use, you open up this one here, place your pin in the center hole, tighten it up. Now it's ready to go. Do I have a piece of canthaw? Yep. This is not the twisted 28 gauge, but I just wanted to show you, just for the purposes of the video, how this thing works too, because this is a really cool product. If you guys are building, I think this is a must-have in the toolkit. So what you do is you take your canthaw. This is just a regular piece of 28 gauge canthaw, but you open up this nut here, place your canthaw inside there and capture that one. Just like that. And then all you do is I lay this down on the puck, hold it tight, and then I just spin the puck. So if you want to do like a 5 wrap, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, that's it. Loosen this pin up to release the 28 gauge. Pull it off the pin. I don't know if you can see this, but nice, very tight, ready to go coil. It's that easy. And everything I've used, I've done, 5 turns, I've done 10 turns, I've done 15 turns, I've done dual 28 gauge, I did triple 32 gauge. I mean, everything that I do works. So, micro puck, get you one. I think they're like 40 bucks. And that's ready to go. So there's another one I just spun in a second. So that's what I use to do my 28 gauge, my twisted 28 gauge cant thaw on this unit here. Captured both sides, tilted, make sure the your coils are tilted, probably about 45 degrees. And then what you're going to do is wick this. And a lot of people just say, well, you wick it and here's what you do. But the one thing a lot of people don't say is, well, how much cotton do you use? Because too much will smother this build. So what I do is I take a organic cotton ball, and I do not boil mine. I know a lot of people do. I guess that's just if you want to, but the way I look at it is I never boiled a cigarette before I smoked it, and that is what it is. So what I do is I'll take a cotton ball, I will open it up in a strip, and I'll take that strip and I'll rip it in half, and then I take that half and I rip it in half, and that'll give me my wick that I want to use for this build. And what you want to do with this build, and you've probably seen a lot of other people do this as well. I know Rip Trippers did it, and there's some other people online that do it. But hey, why not have another one? So you're going to take your cotton and you're going to put it through the bottom of your build on the first coil. You're going to pull this cotton through just like that. And then take this piece here and you want to fold it over your coil. Nothing's going through this coil, not on this build. You want to fold it over the coil and bring it back around. And you want to keep this hole, this opening on your coil, you want to keep open. The back side of the coil you want completely covered. So you just want to move that around so that is nice and covered. I'll go off camera here for a second so I can see what the heck I'm doing. So you see that side of the coil is open and that side of the coil is covered. And what you'll do is take this top one and clip it even with the deck, and then you'll take this leg of the cotton, wrap it around that post and around the back side of that coil, because you want to make sure that coil, the back side of that coil is covered. And then trim this, and then put this down on your well. Just like that. See how that side, it's open right there? The back side is covered. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Alright, got the second one covered. So you see, that one's open. And get the cotton out of the way. That one is open. And what I do with this is, with these pieces, the short piece, I'll push down, the fold over one I'll push down, and I'll lock it with the wraparound piece. Stuff it in there. And do the same thing on the other side. The first tail I'll push down, the wraparound piece, I'll lock it into place. And what you want to do is use your liquid as like an adhesive, Saturate your coils, or your, I'm sorry, your cotton. Get it all nice and saturated. This build right here will hold a ton of liquid, which is a good thing. And that's when it works best too. You'll get several tugs on this before you have to resaturate. So I just get this all saturated nice. The wrapper on side get nice and wet. Once you got your cotton nice and wet, just use your tweezers and lock all that into place. Tuck it all in there real nice. The adhesive I'm using tonight is Peach Delight by Shake and Vape. Free plug for Eduardo, because I don't say his name enough. That's pretty much it. Just make sure that them coils are completely surrounded by that cotton. And you want to leave that back, that inside, the hole that's facing the inside of the deck towards the center pins is the one that you want open. And the back side that's facing the negative connection is what you want closed. You want that completely covered. See how it's covered? Back holes are both covered. And then that hole right there is open. And that hole right there is open. It's exactly how you want it. Bam. And that is a twisted 28 gauge dual dragon coil. Give it a test fire. Oh yeah. Just want to make sure those holes are open. What you're looking for when you test fire it, you're looking for the two streams of vapor that shoot in opposite directions. That's when you know you got it right. If it's not right, if it's not really shooting out, check the back side of your coil, make sure that's covered, because if there's any air in there, it's not going to fire properly. So you just want to make sure that those back sides, or the butts, are covered. There it is. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about. So that is the build. Get some nice liquid on there. Keep that thing saturated. And that is ready to be vaped on the Brass Monkey RDA. So what I'll do is we'll try the brass one. We'll put the brass one on. The breather holes, or the air holes for your top cap, still same thing. You want it right in front of the coil. Pop that on like that. Put on a nice tip. I got a nice big bore tip that I ordered from M5. These are really nice too. You get two of them. Get a silver one and a brass one. And that's it. That's ready to go. Let me get the camera back to normal mode, and we'll take a vape and we'll talk about the whole thing. Alright, well there's the build. Brass Monkey. And this has the dual twisted 28 gauge nano coil, or nano dragon coil, I guess is what you would call it, is what I have in it. Like I said, on this one I bored it out a 1/8 inch drill bit, and it makes me mad I screwed that up right there. Jesus. I'll just have to order another cap and try it over again. But let's see how she vapes. Man, oh man. It's late and my wife is sleeping, and I don't want to set off the fire or the smoke alarm. Or should I, so you guys can have a good laugh? The vape on it is phenomenal. It's got just a slightly warm vape, but it doesn't get hot, even on long tugs. There's no warmth. I think that's because of those walls are so thick. Excuse me. I mean, if you could see how thick the walls are on these things, and it's just built really nice. I mean, they did a really good job on it, even on the stainless steel. I mean, look at the size of that. It's just built really well. I like it. I like it a lot. So, if you guys get a chance, in my opinion, grab yourself one of these brass monkeys. It's built very well, and I like that center post. I love how the center post has those two positive connections. It just makes life a lot easier, so you know you're going to capture your leads, and you know that they're tight. And like I said, I've built 7 or 8 different builds on this since I've gotten it, and it works flawlessly. I don't have any problems with it at all. It works good. The only drawback I would say, for as much as I paid for it, it'd be nice if it came with some kind of drip tip that had the same logo on it or something like that. But as it sits on its own, man, it works well. Let's try to put the other cap on. Let me add a little bit more juice. A little bit more of the shake and vape. You guys get a chance, hit me up. You guys have got to get some of the shake and vape. It's definitely worth it. Wide open. Just put those 3 holes right in front of the coil. And the cool thing about like these drip tips, they are tight. They fit really nice and tight. There's no problem with air loss or anything there. You don't have to worry about it wobbling or anything. I mean, it's on there. Plus, when I do it like that, it looks really cool on the Chi-Yu. Like it a lot. Okay, let's take a vape on this one. Works really well wide open. I have no problems at all. Probably in retrospect, I think they hit pretty much the same with this board out, but I wanted that board out because I like the top on this. That'll look good on some of my other devices. But you can have one that's a super breather and it comes stock like that, and then the other one you can use just like as an everyday dripper if you're not sub-open or doing anything like this. This build is sitting at 0.49. Tried to get it at 0.5, so it would fire on my DNA 20, but it didn't work. But it fires on my DNA 30. So that's it, guys. There's my first review on RDA. If you guys have any comments or anything, please leave them below. And I guess that's it. Well, until the next time, and until I get something else I need to review, or if there's something you guys want me to review, put it down there too. I'll try to get to it as soon as I possibly can.